Woo! That's the big intro for Conductor Office Hours number 4, launching today. Tons of stuff to talk about. Scott, I'm Matt, joined by my co-host Scott. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Conductor Office Hours number 4, conductorplugin.com. What the heck is it? It's the developer's tool or the beginner's tool to helping you build complex WordPress layouts a whole heck of a lot easier. Chris Ford, a renowned WordPress designer, recently said it was taking her hours to figure out the Genesis loop, but what she did in those few hours, she did with Conductor in 5 minutes. So that's an amazing testimonial to our product. Learn more about Conductor at conductorplugin.com. I actually had somebody ask me, actually Jason Resnick, if you're in the audience and you are watching, you can drop a Q&A right into the side panel there. You can drop a question and answer. I think you can only see that if you're in the expanded view. If you're watching on conductorplugin.com/COH, you might have to head over and hit the old expand button. Jason Resnick asked me the other day, it's actually yesterday because that's usually our typical broadcasting time, when is Conductor Office Hours launching, because I'm just a lazy developer, right? I just want to know. I just want you to feed me the information. I don't want to have to go to your blog and read about it. Well, that's exactly what the show is all about. You can learn more about what we're doing here with Conductor and some other fun stuff. So we're going to talk about the updates that came to Core, updates that came to our add-ons, big WooCommerce announcement, of course, right alongside their WooConference. And then we'll do a little special something that we're excited for. Another plugin that might be coming will be coming to Conductor and maybe WordPress.org. So let's just dive right into the updates, Scott. What did you update as far as the add-ons and the core of Conductor?
All right, so we put out Conductor version 1.1.2 few days ago, and mostly some bug fixes, some UI enhancements going on there. So the edit buttons within the customizer, our helper buttons, previously when you had some single Conductor widgets lined up, they kind of adjusted the layout improperly, so we went ahead and fixed that. We also fixed a potential issue where one of our functions may not be defined, and that was reported to us by Jason Resnick. So one thing that we want to know, and
cheers to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Your feedback, we put this in the post and everything. Your feedback really helps us out with shaping Conductor for in the future. We also put out an update to help fix Conductor displays in Quarks mode, and we will have a blog post on that shortly. I'll just run down quickly right now. Quarks mode is a mode that the browser may use to render certain content if it doesn't see a doc type as the first element within an HTML page, and sometimes your layouts and stuff can get a little bit messed up, and this can happen anywhere across the board. So we'll have a post outlining that. It's pretty much ready to go, so we'll probably have that published very shortly. And just some of the fixes that we took, how to tell if you're in Quarks mode, and really more about what Quarks mode is. As far as the
can you want to just dive in for anybody who, so our good buddy Jeff Chandler. If you don't know him, he is the reigning supreme king over at WP Tavern, and he is actively taking a look at Conductor plugin. And one of the things he ran into was the UI of our buttons in our widget area were a little messed up. Something that you say is Quarks mode, so I'll take the non-developer hat.
Term out there.
What is, real brief? What is Quarks mode, and how can we avoid this?
So Quarks mode is a mode that the browser, so before the page is rendered, the browser determines what mode to render the particular page in. 99% of the time, as long as your code is formatted correctly, you'll be in standards mode, which is the mode that you want to be in. Normally, users won't know they're in Quarks mode, but one way that you can tell is sometimes some CSS will get a little bit messed up, and even sometimes your display and markup as well. So Quarks mode is another way for the browsers to render the page, and it was brought about because back in the day, Netscape Navigator and Internet Explorer days, there was no standards. So pretty much you had free reign to do whatever you'd like, and then the World Wide Web Consortium was formed. They made some standards, and browsers developers said, well, we can't go in and just say, hey, we're going to utilize these standards because we have a lot of old pages on the web that will probably break. So that's a short rundown of what Quarks mode is.
That's an amazing rundown. I would never be able to repeat that if my life depended on it. So basically what that means for the folks in the audience who might not have followed that is the browser will dump you into some kind of emergency state mode, right?
There you go.
That all of a sudden, some of the things won't work, but we've gone ahead and kind of helped that a little bit. We are getting some messages from the Twitter sphere that the feed is not working, but we will still carry on, and I will actively try to figure out what the heck is going on. So let's continue on with that. Next update that we have is the core of Conductor, right?
Yeah, well, that was core.
That was core.
But a couple more things to note. We did fix a couple of widget issues. One of them being if you had a single Conductor widget, sometimes it was one revision behind as far as your settings go. So you'd pick a post and you'd pick your about page and you wouldn't see your about page, and then you would pick another page and then you would see your about page. So we've gone ahead and fixed that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a few other minor updates in there, some other bug fixes and whatnot. You got your home page if it was just set to your latest post, so we went ahead and fixed that. And then we also put out some updates to our add-ons as well since the last time we did this show. And we fixed some issues with updating and whatnot, and we also added a couple of different improvements to the different updates. So custom fields, thanks to Lisa Snyder, reported again an issue with custom fields. We went in, we were able to replicate it on our development environments, and we went ahead and fixed that issue. So it was where custom fields weren't rendering properly. Certain widgets didn't inherit the correct custom fields. So that's all set now, along with some of the output of our display pack add-on. We went ahead and adjusted some CSS and whatnot.
Awesome.
For the add-ons.
The largest sort of update in the bunch. Go ahead and by the way, I know we are having some web technical difficulties, but if you want to go ahead and drop your question, if you are one of the lucky viewers that I do see on the stats, if you have a question, go ahead and drop that in the Q&A panel, and we will go ahead and get that answered for you. If you don't see it, if you don't see the Q&A panel, which might be some of the problem, go ahead and tweet to us, hashtag Conductor plugin. We'll go ahead and get those questions answered. One of the largest things that we rolled out this week was WooCommerce support. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Take us down sort of some of the development stuff. I mean, we already have custom fields add-on, so some folks might be saying, well, sometimes WooCommerce doesn't WooCommerce have custom fields? What's the difference here? And I think the biggest difference for me anyway, as the business owner, the person who's going to be using it, is there are some fields in WooCommerce that we want to use that can be sort of particular to WooCommerce.
Yes.
One being the the price, the other one being the buy now button, or add to cart button, and then there are some things that you won't have in the custom fields add-on, like sorting WooCommerce product. So you can sort by price, by weight, by popularity. So you can do all kinds of different things with that. So what were the technical challenges that you had, putting the add-on together? What were some of the quirky things that you had to deal with from that? That was something different than, hey, this is just a text field.
Yeah. So one thing that's really cool about everything with Conductor is we try to make it as easy to extend as possible. So our add-ons extend Conductor, and this WooCommerce add-on actually extends our custom fields add-on. So one of the things that we allow for is a custom callback function. And really what that means is on the front end, when a particular custom field or any display element within a Conductor widget is going to be rendered, developer can hook in and say, I want it to use this function instead of the default. What that allows us to do is with WooCommerce, it allows us to output the Buy Now button, the price, the SKU, quantity, so on and so forth. So that wasn't too big of a challenge because we actually had the ability to extend the add-ons. Some of the challenges, though, were the way that WooCommerce actually stores the quantity in some of the newer versions. And there was actually a bug report on GitHub filed about this, but they stored it as a floating point. And then when we went to go out and put it on the front end, we had to change it back from a floating point to a decimal, rather just an integer, because we didn't want to have, you're not going to probably have a 31.5 items in your store. So
why? I don't want to have 31.2 tires for sale.
You may, I don't know, but I know I'm probably not in my store. Some people might. There might be. There's probably a reason for it. So getting back to the callbacks, we actually hooked in and found some WooCommerce functions that existed, and then we were able to go ahead and adjust the callbacks and use those functions to output the data so it would be correctly formatted. Another thing that was interesting is changing the label on the Add to Cart button. There is a filter for that within WooCommerce, which is really cool. And the way that we had to go about it was basically at the beginning of the widget, if there was a custom label, we added our own custom filter to that, and then at the end of the widget, we removed the filter. And from a more technical perspective, that makes sure that the next Conductor widget that gets rendered does not inherit the wrong label. So those are some of the kind of quirks and challenges and whatnot.
It's tremendous. Looks like we're still having some technical difficulties, but we will continue to plow through this for the recorded session. If anybody is on, which I do see people watching, so maybe I should just tweet out the direct, the direct YouTube link. Would be amazing if you could just grab that right here. I don't know where it is. Let me just pull up our WooCommerce. Right there. So let's just pull up the YouTube page. We will copy that and tweet it out. And let's go ahead and tweet that out for any of the tech difficulties we have. So now what that basically means is we can create custom WooCommerce landing pages or just shop pages altogether.
Yep.
So let's just say we'll just jump right into a demo. So see the direct link. Just tweeted out the direct link for those of you just catching up. Go ahead and tune in right over there. All right, so now we're going to dive right into a quick demo. We can show you what we mean by all of this stuff, right?
That is correct.
So let me shift my page, shift my focus over here. And we will look at the demo. So this is our WooCommerce demo. We'll just show this real quick. So we're going to go ahead and conduct this page. This is just the home page. And of course, this is when the internet gets almighty slow on us when we're running 4 laptops at the same time. Let me try something else.
The joys of live webcasting.
Yep.
Broadcasting.
Let's go right to that. There we go. All right, so now I am on my home page. I'm going to conduct this page and give it a full width layout, and from there we'll add some products, right? Now, I also put together a pretty good blog post that kind of outlines this stuff, and it shows how to create WooCommerce landing pages. So we might actually take a look at doing some of that right now.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and drop in Conductor, again using the quick shortcut buttons. And we're going to add many products, right? So we're going to say, you know what we want to have here is display all of our products. So in this particular demo, I have 3 mittens as products because it is the winter time, and it is soon to be buying mittens season. So here's our 3 products. These are WooCommerce products, and they're by default outputting large. Basically means it's taking up 100% width real estate of your website. Might not be the layout that we want. In our modern business theme, we specifically style Conductor to load small widgets 33% wide. So that gives us nice 3 products right across the board. But who wants this? This is just like your typical WordPress readout and display, and we don't want that. We want to be able to fine-tune this and show stuff specifically to how WooCommerce wants us to build a landing page. So we're going to hide things like the byline. And for this case, let's just hide the content just to get it out of the way. But we still retain our images, our featured images, and our titles. So, and I'm going to leave the read more here link just specifically to show as an example. So if you have WooCommerce add-on, as everyone does who has a power user pack or a developer license, if you just go into the custom fields where you can add custom fields, all you have to do is start by typing in the word Woo, right, for WooCommerce, just like we have with AgentPress. If you started looking for AgentPress fields, you can start searching for that. So here's all of the buttons or the custom fields available to us in our WooCommerce add-on. So I'm going to add the WooCommerce add to cart. I'm going to do price. I'm going to stick with those 2 for right now. It gives us the ability to build out a display of our WooCommerce products a whole heck of a lot easier without having to write any code, right? So I'm just going to save and publish this for right now. I'm going to close out of the customizer so that we can just demo this real quick. So here are our 3 products. We're displaying the price, and we're showing the add to cart button and the read more. Now, because WooCommerce registers as custom post types, right, for those of you who are more technical, the read more button is just default nature of WordPress. Every custom post type, sort of the way WordPress handles the output of a post, says read more, right? And we made that a whole heck of a lot easier in the core Conductor for you to overwrite that title to say read now, check out my awesome content, that kind of thing. Read more is really just going to bring you right to that post. So when I go ahead and click on, if I want these gray mittens, I can say read more, right? Gray mittens, right? And that's how a lot of themes actually handle navigation of WooCommerce products. If it's not specifically built for WooCommerce, a lot of summaries and even our real estate themes will say read more about a property.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like gray area sort of, usability.
Yeah, and it's the theme actually. The theme authors can actually define what that says, by hooking into the content function and providing their own arguments and whatnot. But so within Conductor you can easily change the layout if you wanted to.
And we'll show you that. Now the difference is with the WooCommerce support is we're actually bringing in the add to cart button from WooCommerce. So when you actually click add to cart, it is actually going to add this product to the cart, and it still gives you the ability to have a read more button. Why would you want to do that, Matt? Why just have read more, or why not have add to cart? Well, number one, we want to stay parallel to what WooCommerce wants us to do, and by default they output an add to cart button, right? And I think there might be some options to change that in the settings, and we adhere to that.
Yeah, on the shop page, yep.
So that's important to us. It's also important to us that we stay parallel to WordPress and we continue to have the read more button. But the cool thing is you can override these titles to kind of tweak things a little bit more, right? So you might want to say, instead of the add to cart, it might say, buy this sucker now, right? And you can save that. Or you could say, instead of read more, you can say learn more, right? So 2 different call to actions that you might want to be able to tweak in your particular WooCommerce installation. Same thing with the price. If I go back to that, let me just go ahead and hit edit. By the way, using Conductor shortcode buttons makes working on a
helper buttons.
This is like, even if we didn't own this product, I would be saying like how easy it is when we add these little buttons to help us out. Anyway, even the price, right? Like limited time only. These are little things that help sell a product. So if you're a store owner, these are like little things where being able to change the buy now button just from add to plain old add to cart, like buy this sucker now. Like if you're making landing pages that are that you're trying to convert on, and this is the blog post I just wrote about. If you're making these landing pages, these are important things. They seem minimal, and they might be, but these are things that you can do quickly over time if you're building marketing plans and you have somebody else doing this for you. You can also change like the pricing label to read something else too. All these little things add up. And in terms of a developer's time, it might be maybe half an hour to go into the code and change that title, but you still got to remember to do it. You still got to remember to do it the right way. And if you want to do multiple pages, you got to do it for each one. Yeah. All of this stuff adds up. And this is what we're hoping is Conductor is providing a little bit more value to you as you're building out these projects. For yourself as a developer and now your customer can easily go in and tweak things without blowing up the entire site. Right?
One of the cool things that I want to mention, Matt, is your post is great in the sense is it's not just how to build a WooCommerce landing page, it's how to build one that converts, and you go into detail about trends, Google Trends. Right now, winter's coming. That's what you talked about in the demo, in this post. So you don't want to be selling your bathing suits. You want to be highlighting your mittens and your snowboards and whatever else it is that you sell. So you get a lot of info in this post here that goes way beyond WooCommerce and everything. It does tie into our plugin, but it's really insightful information.
Yeah. So. One of the tidbits in this blog post is just using Google Trends to understand, is it time to promote this product, right? So again, this is useful information you can pass on to your client, or if you're somebody running your own WooCommerce shop, this is something that's useful to you. Google.com/trends, and I outline this in the blog post. Hey, if you're a clothier and you're selling stuff, then you might have bathing suits and you might have mittens. Well, it's the no-brainer that it's getting colder, so obviously I'm going to push mittens now. But if you look at the graph that I have on display here, look at when it hits its peak, right, and understand that timeline. So in that timeline, it's like right around December of last year, December 9th. The week of the December 9th is when people searching for mittens hit its peak. So yeah, it's getting cold. Yeah. But okay, but if you're strategizing an advertising budget, when should you pull back on that advertising budget? When do you know that this is the best opportunity for me to sell these mittens is between the week of December 9th and the last week of November? You have that buffer zone, right? Black Friday sales, start pushing your mittens, whatever. This is all just example stuff, but stuff that can really help you. Then you can see the downward trend, and you can see where people start searching for bathing suits now, right? And you can see that bathing suits is a much bigger opportunity over the course of a year. Yeah. There's a much bigger incline. Maybe we're in the wrong business. Yeah, maybe I should be selling bathing suits and mittens. But that's a great. Thanks for bringing that up and reminding me. That's a great point. So let's continue down this path, and I just want to show you a few other things in the Woo commerce thing. So of course, there's the different. I can get rid of the learn more and just hide that. I can bring in other WooCommerce stuff, dimensions, height, length, shipping class, shipping quantity, how much stuff is left. So again, if you are a power user or a developer user license holder, you should already have that available to you to download. So if you want to go ahead and try that out, go ahead and download it. Log into your account, download it. You can also access it through the options panel, right? You can find it right inside there.
Panel. Yep.
Now, we'll take any questions that we might have, and I know we have one already lined up from Lisa, right? And Lisa asks, let me just pull that up. My brain is being pulled in 15 directions, so I just got to focus here. Lisa wants to know, wait a minute, wait for it. Lisa wants to know, is there any interest in starting up an informal Conductor plugin user group to share the best practices and creative implementation ideas? It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
That is phenomenal. It's one of the things that I don't want to say the F word. Do I say the F word? I'll say the F word. Framework. Right?
Nice.
It's not. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say that it's a Genesis or something like that. it's really complementary to all of these things. It's really something that will help you build this stuff out on any theme. But it certainly introduces what many frameworks does, which is a system, right? Yeah. To launch these things quicker. And I can certainly see that happening. There are many things that we found Conductor doing that we didn't even like think of. We found it ourselves, and we found other folks like Lisa using advanced custom fields and embedding content in fields and then displaying that on the front end in ways we didn't even think of.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty interesting
stuff.
But
it works, and it's a great idea.
Right.
You know? Those are definitely good things to know.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I know my brother actively uses on his site is he has a custom field that displays the video embed, and it makes him being able to display like a summary video with the excerpt, like matching these things together. It's like Conductor has like these little recipes that you can put together. It's kind of cool. It's kind of exciting. I would love to have that happen. So if anybody out there wants to kick one of those up, kickstart one of those, I am definitely down to do that. That'd be awesome. Go ahead and drop in your questions, hashtag Conductor plugin, and we'll get those answered. Do we have any
questions in the Hangout at all? I don't know if we do.
Let's take a look.
I know we've had the technical difficulties, but
I think what I might have done was forget to click on the old Q&A. Enable it. Right. Even though I said we could, I think I disabled it.
That's okay.
So we won't be able to get any questions from there. We did have a customer ask us about using Conductor for rapid prototyping, which is something that we've talked about plenty of times.
We've done it too.
And we've done it, and we've used Conductor to build out these sites a little bit faster and just demonstrate the power, sorry, let me click back on us, and demonstrate the power that is not only Conductor but WordPress, right? So people can understand where content goes and how you can manipulate it. And even better, how do you manipulate it in the WordPress customizer, right?
Live previewing.
Live previewing, right? So yeah, absolutely. This is a tool that can also help you do that.
And we've also said that you want to be careful depending on how everything's set up, but you don't want to make it look too easy. Have your client say, well, hey, you're charging me X amount, blah blah blah. So definitely be careful with that. But set yourself up a demo site with some content, some featured images, and client says, hey, I want 3 columns here. Here you go. Set up a small widget. Add those 3 columns. You can set up your workflow. We have reusable CSS classes that we use in our prototyping, to set up 3 columns or even 4, 5 or 6 or whatever it might be. Our display pack can also help with that. So it definitely it has helped us out tremendously in that regard. It's just quickly setting up the mock-ups and saying this is what we're gonna make it look like.
The display pack especially like when you can show people content in a table.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really rudimentary, sort of off the tongue, but it's when you're able to display boatloads of content, especially content that's like directory or team or anything like that. It just makes it so easy to do that. Number one, and it's efficient for you to be able to display these kinds of options to your client, right? The second thing is that we're starting to see, which we've already done a lot of in the past, is people are using Conductor to display content and data, not just for like your average web user, but somebody who's using WordPress as an intranet or just a team portal, right? Where they're using custom post types for just raw data. Like, here's our files, here's our information about XYZ, and we want to display this, and it's locked down in some kind of membership role thing, and you can use it to build out those types of things. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and we also, of course, using it on conductorplugin.com, our add-ons page, our support page.
That's right.
We have one of the extensions that's in the works actually in place on that, so look forward to that coming soon. It'll be sort of like a dynamic query type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Let's go into the teaser of the day.
Yeah, this is really cool.
And this is just real awesome. Brief. It's going to be like 2 seconds.
So you got to pay attention.
And then we're shutting it off, right? Again, if you are interested in everything that we're talking about Conductor and you are not yet a customer, conductorplugin.com. If you have questions, there's live chat there. You can /contact us on the site, ask us a question, tweet to us at Slocum Studio, at Matt Medeiros, at Scott make it very easy for you to answer your questions about Conductor. All right, go back to sharing my screen. Now, here is our here are the products that we built. What about if we want to add call to action, right? I showed you how to add some call to action in the blog post that I wrote about 2 landing pages that convert for WooCommerce products. And I showed you how to do that with our modern business theme that has a particular function in there to do that. But we got something in the works that might make creating more context for your content a little bit easier, right? So you can see a blinking cursor there right in the customizer. So we'll say, you know, never let your hands freeze again. Prices so low.
Your thermometer will break.
Yeah, you'll freeze. Now I typed all that right there and live in the customizer, and this is still an alpha, so hopefully it all works when I select this.
Oh, and it will.
and Scott says it will. So now we'll select that content. I'll be able to give it a heading 2, and I'll be able to center it. And I might be able to come down here, again, if this is all working. I'll say, blah, blah, blah. This is amazing product and some supporting content for your site.
Wow. Sounds like a spam comment.
And then we will also center that. And if I wanted to, I could highlight that and give it a link, but I won't because we don't need to right now. So that's what's coming. If you're interested, shoot us an email, send us a tweet. Look for this coming soon to possibly.org or something like that. We don't know. But it's been a wrap. It's been a great time. Loads of information out today. If you want to learn more about Conductor, like I said, conductorplugin.com. Also, if you're looking for some themes to support your Conductor site, slocumthemes.com. We do a lot. If you want to ask us any other questions, go ahead and find us on the web. Till next time, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.